Lovely being with you again. Today, in this session, we are going to talk about healing as a way of understanding health as balance, and healing as a way of regaining balance, and how that healing can happen even in times of upheaval or change. And in fact, like we started this morning noticing how the challenges of times of change can also be like wake-up calls that take us even deeper into understanding ourselves and into practice. This afternoon, I thought the focus would be more on how all this upheaval and all these negative emotions, which tend to cluster together. They're like bunches of grapes, sour grapes. The fear takes to the aggression, takes to the disenchantment, the confusion, the sadness for the distraction, this feeling that maybe we are not doing enough. And, all these negative things, emotions, thoughts, they tend to feed on each other and they tend to grow. And neuroscience tells us that we have, at least 5-to-1 tendency to go towards a negative, and that those negative emotions and thoughts feed on each other and proliferate. They stimulate the amygdala, a little part in our brain, or less like inside of an almond, and it's the one that gets stimulated by emotions in general. And when there are a bunch of negative emotions, the amygdala enlarges and sends all kinds of messages to the brain and the nervous system. And the brain doesn't have the capacity to separate what's being told. So it receives this input that we are in great danger, we are in threat, we are being attacked, and it just sends to the rest of the body a lot of adrenaline to fight, flight, or sometimes become frozen. And so neuroscience also tells us that we have another part even deeper in the brain that's called the insula. And the insula is like a central station that receives the inputs from the rest of the body and sends it to the brain in a major way. And that insula is influenced when we practice breathing, and when we practice attention and intention of observing who are we, and what the insula has this sense of I am, and it's a one that we want to nurture through calm breathing, and is a one that has a lot of power to then send messages to the brain, so that the brain receives, okay, we are breathing now, we are calm, let's send even more neurotransmitters to the rest of the body, so that we can experience even more calmness. Then when the body gets calm, the mind, which is a process that happens throughout the body, also comes down. So when you have, for example, Prozac is not calming your mind, is calming your body, and then the other processes become more calm. But the problem is that it does create addiction, and also that you are not participating in this with the same consciousness, with the same intention and attention, which is your most powerful superpower, in creating these different processes to open a new highway in your brain and nervous system. So let's say that through repeated reactions, we have created a highway that is the one that we usually take towards more worrying, more fear. And now we are trying to create a different path, different connections between our neurons that fire together, bind together. There are stronger synapses there, communications between the neurons. And we want to feed the ones that will take us more towards peace, towards healing. Well, even if we understand, like we are, discussing now, and we'll see more in this gathering this afternoon, the influence that all this has in our body. Even if we have the intention that, okay, I want now to practice a different thing, the only way to change it is not just by reasoning it. So you cannot tell your body, now forget the previous highway, we are going to go into this highway. No, the previous highway will still be there. And there will be often times that you blindly just take that highway because it's the one that you have been taking for a long time. The way to render it not so powerful is to start the new highway towards peace and to keep practicing and practicing and practicing, so that every time you have an experience towards peace, towards calmness, towards conscious responding instead of reacting, that other highway gets activated, the one towards peace. Eventually, through a lot of use of the one towards peace and healing, the previous one will fall into disuse. And that's the way that you can make the change. So it's important first we understand and we bring it as a new perspective, as a new intention. And then it's super important that we practice it in as much as we can every day for the rest of our life. That's the way we'll create this highway towards peace, towards healing, that we really want. I mean, we really want to be healthy. We want to be happy. We want to be peaceful. But often what we do or the way we react doesn't take us there. So another thing that we saw this morning, and with this I will finish the summary from this morning, was this self-inquiry of asking ourselves when we are with a challenge and when we are with this reactivity, is this helping me? Is this helping the situation? Is this helping the other person? And often we forget, but we can remind ourselves, okay, what is that I want to cultivate? Because what you cultivate, that grows. And so do you want to cultivate being anger? Do you want to cultivate wanting to eliminate everyone or everything that makes you uncomfortable? Or the other piece that we used this morning was what you resist persists. So if you have physical pain and you are mainly concentrating on your physical pain, which is totally natural, but the more you concentrate on the pain, the more you are going to feel the pain. Through breathing, through recognizing, yes, this part is hurting, and I also can keep breathing and inviting the body to relax and concentrate on another part of my body that perhaps is not hurting right now, even if it is your hair or whatever. So bringing your attention and intention, reclaiming that energy that goes to the pain, bringing it to calming. Being practicing what goes into the foreground. What is that you are cultivating? Blindly cultivating, most of the time we blindly cultivate more anger, more despair, more pain, and we keep resisting. So we talked about to not resist so much. We need to have the trust that whatever is happening, even if it is troublesome or painful, or we will hold it with awareness, loving awareness, and we will trust that even that belongs. Even the fact of having been diagnosed with a terminal disease belongs. And I'm not going to curse the rest of my days. I'm going to try to use the rest of my days in appreciation of every moment of my relationships, of whatever. And when the last moment comes, I'm going to release based on this trust that I'm feeding my body into not fighting. I don't want to arrive to the end kicking and fighting, let's say in the case of somebody who's dying. And also knowing that we are not finishing with the matter, that we are a spirit. And so that it's just, we're just relinquishing this carcass and going into the next stage of this long journey of awakening consciousness. So whether you are able to integrate that about we are a spirit, in any case, even just for your health, is super important that you practice peace. And because when we are with the negative emotions, the amygdala grows, everything, gets more innervated. The systems of repair, growth, healing get closed because the body says, no, we are under a great threat. We just need to run. We need to do something. We need to get away from here. This shouldn't be happening. At the moment when we are needing the most our frontal cortex, the ones that have to do with decision, with planning, with clarity, with all these other inner shouting, we are closing that possibility. So for many reasons, and also for many reasons, good to cultivate peace and healing. And today in the afternoon, we are going to be seeing also what happens with the immune system. The immune system, it's a little bit distributed through the whole body. I mean, a lot of the immune system cells are produced at the bone marrow, and then some of other more specific immune cells are produced at the gut, and so we also have the spleen on the left side, which is an organ that corresponds to the immune system. But it's interesting that the immune and the thyme gland, which is here, which also corresponds to the immune system. But it's interesting that the immune system, of which the lymph system is a part, doesn't have these major organs that we, with the circulation, we associate the heart, with the breathing, we think of the lungs. Well, the immune system it's everywhere in a way. It has a spleen, it has a thymus gland, but it's mainly all these cells that are moving around, the immune cells that are moving through the body with the lymph, and are paying attention to where there is either foreign agents that are coming in and how to immobilize them or get rid of them. And for the immune system to work in its optimal capacity, what it needs is the same as the rest of the organism, that we are calm. So the rest, repair, and growth, which is what's the parasympathetic nervous system nurtures, and of which the immune system is a super important part, needs resting, needs pausing, needs for us to be able to bring into our inner space a sense of flow, of relaxation, of cleansing. And that's exactly the opposite of what happens when we are angry, sad, fearful, depressed. And so from the point of view, even just of the health of the body, is super important to work also with the health of the mind and the spirit, our purpose in life, our meaning of why are we here? What are we made of, and why are we here? And we are made of, according to Yoga and Qigong, of a physical body, of a subtle body, which has more to do with the energy of our thoughts and emotions, and of a spirit, which is the awareness that's observing all this. And it's that Buddha nature that we all have, that capacity to observe in peace and to have this loving awareness, this, if you want, trust and love. I mean, when you boil everything else, all the books from all the cultures and treatises of medicine and everything, what it all comes down is be kind. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, connect with that which is love, which is the essence of all around us. And you can see it, in the flowers, in the sunshine, even in cloudy days, in the life that's all around you, in so many blessings that we have, one of which is our amazing body that has trillions of cells, and they all work in harmony most of the time, unless we, with our habits, mental habits, physical habits, throw it out of balance. So I want to share with you two practices that come from, one comes from yoga, one comes from Qigong, and both of them are to regain this sense of balance. And also both of them are directly connected with a sense of us being not only our physical body, but our subtle body, this energy of our thoughts, emotions, also of our functioning. When in Qigong, Qi is not only the vital energy that animates the body, but it's also the functioning itself, functioning in that flows when we are in balance, when we are in a state of equilibrium, and that it gets stagnant when we are out of the state of equilibrium. So we start feeling an unease when we are thrown out of that state of balance, either for whatever is happening outside in our mind, whatever, we are just coming into this state of unease. And if we cannot notice that that's happening and try to work deeply with it, then eventually manifest in a disease, sometimes in a particular part of the body. And when we have the disease, if again we are not paying attention to the whole organism that we are, so our body is shouting, hey, something is out of balance here, please come and help. If we, instead of that, we say, I don't want to hear the shouting, give me something so that I numb, then eventually the body loses its capacity to express its little voice, and then it goes numb, and we get a chronic disease. So we don't want a chronic disease in our personal life, and also we don't want chronic diseases in our communities. That's a bigger subject, but I'm going to stay with us for now. So we were talking today about practice that's using this palace of work, lagoon, energy centers in our hands, healing hands. We all have these healing hands, and we were bringing it to a point here. Four-finger breath up from the end of our breastbone. There is a point called the Sea of Tranquility, and we were bringing our hands like this and breathing and sensing like a way of coming back into in touch with ourselves, and inviting getting in touch with our deeper self. And if nothing else, just bringing the hands here and doing 3 deep breaths. Let's do it now. Inhaling like sighing, exhaling, letting go of whatever is still bothering us. Inhaling, visualizing what we cultivate in our life, want to cultivate and are starting to cultivate in our life. Exhaling all that heavy burden of negative emotions. Again, inhaling this possibility of peace, of new ways of relating to ourselves and others. Exhaling what's limiting us, what's not helping. We did an inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, long exhale. Three times, inhaling through the nose, again, inviting in what we are cultivating in this time together. Each of you, what you want to cultivate. Exhaling, letting go of the burdens. One last time. So you see how with few breaths, just bringing your hand here, you already experience a sense of grounding, sense of relaxing. Now I'm going to teach you or share with you the bone marrow cleansing, which integrates many of these understandings that we started this morning. Okay, so this we're going to do standing. If you find a place where you can stand, which you can also extend your arms without bumping against anyone. Okay, so let's do it. Okay. So this one that we are going to practice now is a little bit similar to the one in the morning, but the difference is that after we go up like this, we are going to turn the palm and then come down right through the center. Okay, I just want you to remember that detail. So that at one point when the hand is like this and up, it's going to turn and then it's going to come right through the center. But we'll get there in a moment, but I just want you to keep that little detail so that if you are practicing, you will be able to differentiate between what we did this morning, which was the white crane spread its wings, from this one, which is the bone marrow cleansing. And okay. So for the bone marrow cleansing, this is super important because it's also very good as a way of boosting your natural immunity, which is something that we all want. Now that the pandemic is becoming endemic, always we want to have a good immune system, but now it's even more crucial as the protection of the vaccines is waning down after a few months and the COVID is still around, and also in general. So this is very, very good because it works with the bone marrow cleansing, and that's where the cells, the majority of the cells for the immune system are produced. So the bone marrow cleansing has several parts to it. Let's practice together. First of all, we are going to prepare ourselves by doing a breathing that's whole body breathing. So we stand with the feet shoulder width apart, body straight and relaxed. And we are going to inhale, let the arms float up. Keep letting them go up as much as comfortable for you. And then creating this big circle, the arms go back a little bit and then down, and we exhale. So do it in a relaxed way, almost like if the hands and arms are drifting, we're going to do it 3 times towards the front. Like if you are inhaling also from the soles of your feet all along your legs and your arms. And then when the arms are coming back, just inviting the whole body to relax and let go of whatever was stagnant there. And one more time, inhaling through the whole body, through the soles of the feet, through the legs, through the arms, going up And then as we exhale, letting go of whatever is stagnant inside us. This is whole body breathing, and then it also has three of the opposite direction. So we bring the hands and arms back, letting them drift up. And as we exhale, the hands and arms come down, and we are relaxing the shoulders, the face, all the different muscles of our body. Almost like stretching and relaxing, emptying yourself of anything that's limiting, burdening you. Just let it go. One more time. Excellent. Every time the arms go up and go down, the blood pressure comes down. And so that also is very good for relaxing and inviting the body to go into repair mode. So that was breathing with the whole body. Now we are standing in this position for the bone marrow cleansing, where the feet are shoulder width apart, body is straight and relaxed, the column is elongated and relaxed. The hands are open like this, like the mouth of a tiger. So just like that, but they are hanging there, relaxed. And the tongue is touching the upper palate. So we are mainly inhaling and exhaling through the nose, right? All right. So standing with the feet shoulder width apart, body straight and relaxed. The first part of the bone marrow cleansing, we bring the hands at the level of the abdomen, and we experience a little bit of abdominal breath. So inhaling and exhaling, the abdomen expands a little bit with the inhalation, and then goes in a little bit with the exhalation. So you have one hand at the level of your abdomen and one in the back. You probably will notice that kind of abdominal breath. It's gentle and subtle, but it's just bringing your attention to what's called the lower dantian, the lower field of the elixir. And doing just a few abdominal breaths there without forcing, just try to relax. Every time we do abdominal breaths, whether we are sitting or standing, the energy moves from our head, our thinking, all that. It's grounded, comes to the level of the abdomen where it can ground. And the other thing that's wonderful about the abdominal breathing or lower dantian breathing is that it provides a sense of relaxation to our guts, and it helps with our digestion and with our sleeping. And it also helps with the balance at the guts, where is the second place that a lot of the immune system cells are produced. The ones that are more specific about specific infections are produced at the gut. So the bone marrow and the gut are crucial for our immune system. Okay, so now let's come back to the beginning of the bone marrow cleansing. We are going to have our hands in front of our abdomen and do a little bit of the abdominal breath. And then we are going to bring our hands like if they are holding a ball, bring it up, and then fold the elbows down, and we bring the hands together like in prayer, and the fingers are resting in on our breastbone, slightly connected to the Sea of Tranquility point that is which we were working today. So this first part of the bone marrow cleansing is called meditating Buddha. And what we are doing is we are concentrating, we are gazing in, concentrating on our breath. And just inviting a sense of relaxation like you see in the statues of the Buddha. As you keep bringing your attention just to your breath. The breath is a very powerful tool for us to center and to regain balance. So it's like if the whole world is concentrating in you, your attention is going deeper and deeper in yourself, knowing that you're also connected to the rest, but right now you are just kind of going in, observing your breath and relaxing, meditating Buddha. Abiding inner peace, maybe remembering other moments you have experienced inner peace, or a place that makes you feel peaceful, or just concentrating on the breath and allowing the breath to make you more and more relaxed. Just 1 minute more. And from this, getting in touch with our inner space of peace, meditating Buddha, we are going to lower the hands and now practice cosmic being. Our hands and arms extend to the sides, and then our palms are facing outward and our fingers are pointing up. And now it's like if we are radiating this inner peace to everything around. And we are also receiving and radiating. So as a reminder of our cosmic being, how we are totally interrelated and radiating out. For that, we first do the meditating Buddha, and now we have the hands out, like in the Da Vinci drawing. We are in this big circle and in the center. Not that we are the center of the universe, but that we are connected with everything, and that we can feel our connection with Earth, maybe feel deep roots going down from our feet into the depths of the earth, and feeling our spine straight and our head connecting with the heavens, just feeling all this space around us and in us, just for a minute or two. This is called cosmic being, second phase of the bone marrow cleansing. And just bringing our goodwill, our desire to connect with everyone in earth that is also praying for peace, longing for peace, cultivating peace. And we saw the beauty and the light around us in many simple ways. And then eventually we lower the arms slowly. We feel the aliveness in the stillness. And now we're going to go to the third part of the bone marrow cleansing. So the back of our palm goes in our Mingmen gates of life, which is a point that would be directly in the back, like if you trace a line from your navel. So one hand is there in the back. Okay. And the other hand is going to open up to the side, come up, come in front of the third eye. Put the hand like this, like we were doing this morning, with the center of the palm facing up, and then stretching to the heavens, receiving the energy of the heavens. And then we are going to turn the palm and give that energy to a point that's right there at the top of our head, which is the Bai Hui point, that in Chinese they call it the 100 meeting point, and the other in yoga they call it the 1,000 petals chakra. So we are giving energy there to that point in our head and connecting the energy that comes from the center of our palms there. And then we are slowly lowering the hand and imagining that this heavenly clean chi light is circulating through the bones of our body, through our arms, through our ribs, through our hips, through our the bones in the legs, and the hands keep coming down. At the time that the front hand comes in front of the navel, the other hand comes out, and this one goes in the back. And the other hand is now going to come up, gathering chi, comes in front of the third eye, puts the palms up, goes up, receiving chi from the heavens. Then the hand turns so that it gives that chi to the top of the head and the whole spine, and connects with the Mingmen gates of life, where the other back of the palm of the other hand is. And then we are slowly lowering the hand again, visualizing this cleansing light traveling through the bones, through the marrow bone, cleansing the marrow bone in our arms, in our ribs, in our hips, in our legs, in our feet. And letting go of any stagnant chi through the soles of our feet. And so that was one time. We are going to do it 4 more times. This hand goes in the back, and the other one opens to the side. Inhaling, receiving the chi, the hand comes in front of the third eye, turns the palm up, gathers the chi from the heavens, turns the palm so that it feeds the 1,000 point, 1,000 petals chakra. And then as we lower the hand, just imagine like a light that's traveling through your bone marrow, cleansing whatever stagnation it's there at the levels of your bones structure. And that whatever needs to be released it's being released through your feet, like compost that the earth will keep using to let other plants grow. So let's see if we can more or less familiarize ourselves with this movement. Hand and arm up, then it comes in front of the third eye, turns the palm up to receive the chi from the heavens. Then the palm moves like this to give that chi to the top of the head without touching the top of the head. And from there, circulating through the spine and through all the bone marrow in all our bones, like if a light was cleansing, letting go of stagnation. So one hand is in the back of the palm, the big man, gate of life. Now we're receiving chi from the heavens through our lagoon, our center of our palm that's up. We are turning the palm and giving it to the Bai Hui, the 100 meeting point or thousand petal chakra. And then inviting this peace, this white light, this healing to circulate through our bone marrow, in our hands, in our arms, spine, the ribs, the hips, the legs. So basically letting go, it's stagnant, relinquishing that. I'm going to do it one or two more times on each side. And let's think also not only on physical stagnation, but emotional too. So just allowing ourselves to get this energy from the heavens, inspiration, healing, and bring it through us. And letting go what's stagnant. Let love and light circulate through your brain, through your head, through your cranium, through your spine, through your bone marrow, through your ribs, and your hips, and your arms, and your legs, and your feet. One more time on each side, beside. And then the fourth and final phase of bone marrow cleansing, after the meditating Buddha, the cosmic being, and the washing bone marrow with one hand, is washing bone marrow with two hands. So we come up, the level of the head, they turn, go up, receiving energy from the heavens. We open ourselves to inspiration, to healing and self-healing, to healing relationships, healing ways of being. And we turn the palms and we feed that thousand petal chakra with this heavenly energy of peace, of healing. We let it percolate and bathe us through our whole being, through the bone marrow of the cranium, neck, our arms and shoulders and hands, our whole chest being cleansed, relinquishing whatever we need to let go. Our hips, our legs and our feet. And for a moment, just standing there, filled with light. Okay, so that's the bone marrow cleansing. It's a beautiful practice. Now, let's practice a practice that comes from classical yoga, and you will see that it has similar understanding of working with our energy body. With the physical body really is very much influenced by the subtle body. In fact, although the subtle body, it seems more subtle, less concrete, it has greater influence than the concrete body. And then the spirit, which would be the most subtle, has even more influence than the concrete and than the subtle body. So they are just a continuum of the more subtle, the more powerful. And for that is such a beautiful invitation for all of us to connect with that which we all have, that guiding voice inside us, which is very gentle. So it takes a little training to hear it, but we can start with good practices of breathing, of contemplative movement. So in yoga, I share with you today that I went to a school in India in the early 70s, Kaivalya Yoga School in Maharashtra, in Lonavala, hill station there, where they were training yoga teachers to teach yoga in India. And we were there practicing from very early in the morning to, through the whole day, and meditating at night too. And it totally changed my life. And towards the end, I went and stayed in an ashram where the main spiritual teacher lived, which was in Rajkot, Rajasthan. And the day when I was finally leaving the ashram and ready to come back to the West, he said, look, if you don't have any more time for any practices, the one that you need to continue to do every day, and that's very important, is the alternate nostril breathing and Om. So we are going to practice the alternate nostril breathing, and you will see that it's also called Nadi Shodhana, which is the cleansing of the nadis, the cleansing of the passages within the subtle body, which according to yoga, there are 72,000 of those rivers of energy. In the Chinese medicine, same thing. They talk about the meridians. They talk about less, 12 major meridian and 8 other complementary ones, but they are mainly talking about the bigger ones. But it's very interesting because if you study yoga and you study Qigong and the ways they explain everything, you will see that they talk about these rivers of energy and the importance that there will be flow in those rivers of energy, that there wouldn't be a stagnation. The stagnation comes with the fear, with the anger, with the sadness, confusion, all these negative ways of reacting, which negative, I'm not condemning them. I mean, they are totally natural. I mean, they just happen in us, but it's very important that we get a hold of that and that we don't let all our energy go there. And so that we know we can, we have a great say on the way we respond to whatever stimulus come up. And we have a great say on our body being able to regain balance. And so we humbly commit ourselves to that by these practices of contemplative movements and these practices of cleansing the bone marrow in the Chinese tradition and cleansing the nadis, the passages of energy, which are similar to the meridians in the Chinese system, with the rivers of energy that run through the body. And then the chakras are more like vortexes of energy at different parts in our body. And in the Chinese system, they call what we call the chakras, they call it the Dantian, field of the elixir. And then mainly talk about 3 that superimpose with the chakras, but that's a talk for another day. So the Nadi Shodhana, how we practice it. And also it's very interesting that in the Nadi Shodhana, which is alternate breathing, we have in it 2 breaths that are coming. One is when we inhale through the left and exhale through the right. If we would only practice that, that's a lunar breath, is Chandra Vedana, which is a more cooling experience. And on the other hand, if we inhale through the right and exhale through the left, just that movement is called Surya Vedana, which is more the energy of the sun. And so there you have it in the Indian system too, this connection between the individual, each of us, and the universe, and the forces of the universe being represented in us in this warming and cooling flows, which would be the same as yin and yang. The yin is the cooling, is the Chandra, is the moon energy, and the warmth is more like the sun energy, the Surya Vedana, the practice. But in this one that my teacher so highly recommended, in fact, I have a picture of him somewhere. I brought you one. This is my teacher in India, Swami Digambarji. But I mean, I have had many teachers. I have been very fortunate. This is a teacher in the school in India. This is Baba Haridas, who is also one of my main teachers. I learned a lot from him, and he's always with us too. So this is my Qigong master. So he said, just bring your seat with the spine straight and the body relaxed. And for a moment, sense the centering through your breathing. And then use this mudra. Vishnu mudra. Mudra is a gesture, for example, of the hands, and it's emblematic of energy also. We can use this if that's comfortable for you. This will allow us to use the thumb to close the right nostril, and then the ring finger to close the left nostril, and be able to open and close alternately the nostrils so that we can inhale and exhale. But if this position is not comfortable for you, you can also use it to the index and the middle finger in the area of the third eye, and that will work the same. Before we start the practice, I usually like to use something from Qigong, which is use your index fingers to massage here in the indentations by the side of the nostrils. They are called welcome fragrance points within the acupuncture system. And they help to open the sinus and breathe a little bit more comfortably. Okay. And then again, we find our spine straight, our body relaxed. Put the hands like this or like this, if that's easier for you. We are going to close the right nostril and start inhaling through the left nostril, slowly, gently, and completely. Close the left, open the right, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close the right. Exhale through the left. That completes one round. At the end of the inhalation, there can be a slight pause. And at the end of the exhalation, a slight pause before you inhale again. And that allows your exhalation to be prolonged a little bit, which is also a good way to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the one that feeds the relax, repair, and grow response. So within what's comfortable for you, breathe as slow, gentle, and relaxed as possible. And let's try to do the exhalation a little bit longer than the inhalation, okay? Within what's comfortable for you. So we start always by closing the right nostril and inhaling through the left. There is a slight pause at the top of the inhale. Exhale through the right, slowly, gently, completely, without forcing. Slight pause at the end of the exhalation, and then we inhale again through the right. Close, slight pause at the end of the inhalation. Open the left, exhale. Slowly, gently, completely. Slight pause. And we continue like that. Inhaling through the left. Pause. Exhaling through the right. Pause. Inhaling through the right. Pause. Exhaling through the left. Pause. So we're going to do 3 more of these full rounds. Inhaling through the left. Exhaling through the right. Inhaling through the right. Exhaling through the left. So 3 more at your own pace. Relaxing into it. Follow the air as it comes in your nostrils up towards your brain. And then as it leaves, perhaps a little bit warmer. And again, as it comes in, and let's for a moment just observe where your hand these are beautiful preparations for meditation. And we are going to again practice 5 of these. And this time we are going to pay attention as the air comes through the left, how it stimulates the right side of the brain. Then we exhale through the right. And then when the air comes through the right, following the air, touching the nostrils and as it stimulates the other side, and then we exhale through the left. So always the air is going to be stimulating, inhaling through the left is stimulating the right side of the brain, exhaling through the right, inhaling through the right stimulates the left side of the brain, exhaling through the left. And also, if it's okay with you, if it's not too many things to explore at the same time, maybe you can notice when you are inhaling through the left, kind of have the image of the moon, coolness sensation, and exhaling. And when you inhale through the right, a little bit of a warmer sensation, the early morning sun illuminating the other side of the brain, and exhaling. Okay, so let's try 5 of this, see how it goes. If it gets too complicated, just go back to inhale through the right, inhale through the left, exhale through the right in a relaxed way. If you can also notice how it moves and follow it on the way in, on the way out, great. And if you remember about the moon and the sun and you want to explore that, fabulous. Okay, so 5 more of these. And for 5 more, I mean a whole round. So starting always with the left, inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right, inhaling through the right, exhaling through the left, with a pause at the top of the inhale and at the top of the exhale. Okay. All right, let's go for it and see how it is. If you get tired with a hand up there, maybe you can use your other hand to support it, or if you're near a table or whatever, you can put maybe two books or however many books so that this can be supported. I had to do that with my son the other day when I was trying to get him to do this practice, and it helped. So, okay. So we start closing the left, inhaling through the right, slowly, gently, and completely. Cool energy of the moon. Pause. Exhaling through the right, that cool energy. Inhaling through the right, the warm light of the morning. Pause. Exhaling through the left, that warm light of the morning. Inhaling the cool moonlight. Exhaling that light shining inside us. Inhaling, receiving the light of the morning. Exhaling through the left, that warm light. 2 or 3 more of these. Full breath at your own pace. As you exhale, imagine that you're also radiating it through your whole organism, whole body. You get to exhale through the left, then lower your hand. Just take your time to complete. Wherever you are at the round, just take your time to continue and complete the round. If you have completed the round, then lower your hand and for a moment sense how you feel. Without words, just a sense felt. Inviting a soft smile into your face, into your heart. The Chandogya Upanishad says that there is a light that shines everywhere and beyond even the highest heavens, and that light is the light that shines in your heart. We all have it. That's it with the nature. that sincere that yoga tells us about, to not confuse sincere with the sin. And there are so many beautiful images in all the cultures, like the light of the moon is always there. It shines indiscriminately over everything, the rocks, the beds of water, the vast ocean. That light is the light inside us. The same with the sun, sunlight, stars light, everything. So the invitation is to remember, and through these practices of breath, of inner praying, of inquiry, remembering to get in touch with that light and nourish it. That's where the healing is, that's where peace is. I'm just so happy that we were able to practice together today. Thank you so much for coming.